Hey guys, I'm Roxy.
I'm Annalisa.
And we're
The Nerd Girls.
Welcome to... This is actually going to be a little different from our other stuff. Usually we talk about comics or movies or stuff like that, but we kind of wanted to spread a little bit of awareness with suicide and depression and anxiety. I suffer with all that. She does as well. It's very difficult. I think we all do. And on this kind of video, we want to kind of shine a light on that because I feel like a lot of people are too ashamed or shy or scared to talk about it. And I'm not saying that we're gonna be like, you know, like these powerful voices, because I mean our channel's really small, but I mean I just want you guys to understand that we all go through that. And a lot of the times you'll see me tweet like bands or songs, music, and she's the same way. And we kind of just wanted to make a list of our favorite musicians, bands, artists that have helped us, and maybe they could help you if you're ever feeling down, because you know how they say music heals the soul. And we kind of just wanted to open that little light and shine that. So we made a list. Our lists are so different, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys can experience a little different like variety. The only one we have in common is lights, obviously.
And
Lana Del Rey, of course. She's babe. And, well, that's kind of what we wanted to do this time. So she's going to go a little bit first. We'll go back and forth. And
we we want you guys to know that we named our channel The Nerd Girls, but it's not just gonna be, it'll be like our like obsessions, but not just.
It's not gonna be just basically what she means, like superhero related theme, like DC, Marvel. That's all we give. No,
we want this.
We want it to be
platform
different.
To talk about everything that we like, not just specific things, you know.
Yes.
We don't want to bore you guys with just the same thing over and over, and
we're only human, you know. We're only
creators,
human, and you don't just like superheroes. Come on, you share other interests
Yeah.
as well, and that's kind of the side that we want to show too.
We've always leaned into books and fantasy, but like in reality, like music is what helps you. That, you know, isn't based in fantasy. Like music has helped us so much. Like since we had tiny little CD players, you know, and had to switch our CDs and carry around batteries and, you know, big headphones. Like, we have leaned on it so much since so long.
It's helped us a lot. That's why we're still here today, honestly. I'd have to say that thanks to music, I'm still here. So we're gonna kind of shine light on a few artists. Of course, I'm sure you've heard of a lot of them, but maybe you haven't.
They're all, you know, pretty well known, I'm sure.
But you know, maybe, or you have heard of them, because sometimes we're like that. We know of an artist, but we really don't listen to their music.
Yeah.
Because I know of a lot of famous artists, but I don't actually sit down and listen to their music. Or we can, but you'll be like, oh, they released that one song. I didn't know that. Or thanks for showing me that one song. You know, we kind of want to do that for you guys.
I think the most common thread in all these artists that we're going to tell you is that every single one of them on both of our lists, they all are singer-songwriters.
Mm-hmm.
It's not... Like, I have worshipped Rihanna since she started, literally since like 2005, but, you know, she's not a singer-songwriter.
And that kind of dims it out for you, because you want to be able to relate to them, but you're like, wait, they're not really going through this because so-and-so wrote the song for them.
It takes away the personal part of it. So all of these people, literally every single one of them, are singer-songwriters that we worship, and you feel the real emotion. Like, there's nothing wrong if your favorite artist is somebody that doesn't, like, I'll admit I love Rihanna, but, you know, these are people that have helped us with their real emotion.
Experiences.
You know? Yeah, their
traumas
and stuff. Okay. So, the first one, and it's also one that we have in common, that we fell head over heels for, is Christina Perri. I'm pretty sure
I'm sure you've heard of her now.
Very familiar.
When we liked her, no one knew who she was.
She was only played on VH1. That was like the only channel that would push her music, and thank God they did, because we were one that found her. And she started off with
fun fact: we had the blonde streak.
Yes, we did it. We loved her that much.
We had her hair.
We did it.
We matched.
We totally. And then my dad chopped off a piece of it, and I was very not happy. But you just fell in love with her pretty much as soon as you heard Jar of Hearts, and then to find the rest of the album, like, it wasn't even about relationships. It was like about yourself and your own struggles, which was what made you relate to it even more. And, like, you know, how you heal yourself was, you know, a lot of her struggle. And after going through deep and dark stuff. And like a lot of favorites, like I love Tragedy, I love The Lonely, I love one of them that she said that she wrote at the time that we found her. It was still in the Twilight hype, and she wrote one of them like about Edward, which was called My Eyes. And oh my god, that song!
I remember she would always tell me, I like
so
this song.
amazing.
She's like, I love that song.
And then when I found out the inspiration, I was like, it's even better.
I was really bummed out though because we
aren't in that phase anymore. I should mention. We were in high school at the time.
we were in high school. This is like way
Yeah.
back in like 2009, 10.
Yeah.
So I remember I actually got to see her in 2010 in Albuquerque, which it was really hard to kind of hang out with her because she lived out of town.
Yeah. strict
Transportation, yeah, she had a really strict dad, so it was really hard to take her out. But I actually met her in 2010 at the Sunshine Theater, and she was one of the most down-to-earth people ever. And I remember to meet her, you only had to pay like $5 to buy her EP, and I just wish I could have taken her. It would have been a good experience because now she's not even really making music anymore, and to meet her is not $5 anymore.
No, it really isn't. Okay, we won't stay too long, but she's amazing. She is awesome. Another one in common is Lights. We have.
Who would have guessed, right?
You guys know how we feel about Lights. We don't have to dwell too long, but
I discovered. Go ahead. Sorry. We overtalk on each other.
She is just one of, in my opinion, besides one of the other classics that I'll mention, like she has always been one of my most favorite lyricists like of all time.
She's
because
so different
of her freaking vocabulary. Like she always
she's
uses
so
different words that
like
you probably
flux and
haven't heard.
flow.
And
How do
she's
you get-
just very, very clever.
You know, and just when you listen to it, you're like, whoa, did she just say trajectory
Yeah.
in this song? Like, what? And I actually found this goddess back in 2009. I don't even know. Oh, yeah, a friend of mine actually, back then, when we needed our iPods hooked up. I'm like, hey, dude, just put music in here.
Yeah.
Found Lights. I think the first song I ever heard from her was Drive My Soul. And at the time, she liked, was it Likey Lee or Leaky Lee? How do you say her name?
I think.
And I was like, dude, this chick sounds just like the chick you like. And she's like, I'll give her a shot. And then we became fucking, look at us now.
Here we are.
We're going to see her next week.
We are so,
that was really cool.
excited about that. And like the awesome stuff about what I loved the most when I, heard her was that it was like electronic based, her sound, and that's one of my
She's
favorite
acoustic as well.
like indie, but I like the indie stuff, but she had like really meaningful lyrics with like awesome synthy sounds, and I was like, yes, this is
And I
right up my
remember
alley.
one time a guy's like, how can you like her? She sounds so generic, so poppy. And then I'm like, have you checked out her acoustic shit? Because she sings her own stuff, and that's her actual voice, and she plays her own instruments. So in your face.
She used the auto-tune because she thought it was a cool sound, not because she couldn't sing. So
Exactly.
she proved everybody
Yeah,
wrong.
so I was like, I was
That's
mad.
why she did acoustic, to be like, look, people,
I
shut up.
remember they're like, she sounds all poppy. I'm like,
Yeah.
she's acoustic too,
She can use that voice, all right?
And Face Up is a really good song on depression.
Oh, it's a really
The
good
lyrics are
song.
beautiful. She actually recently posted the video for awareness too, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to check out a song that's very, very good with lyrics, and you want to check out Lights, Face Up is really one of her older songs, but the lyrics are amazing.
It is. The next, I'm pretty sure
And she's on her own on these. I'm just kidding.
everybody. This one is not a mutual.
Not
interest.
that I dislike them, but
Yeah.
I don't worship them as
Yeah.
much as she does.
Is the Beatles. My family probably.
Since I can remember.
They got tired of me talking about them so much. And like I started liking them because I thought my mom loved one of their songs, and I was like, Mom, I got you this song because you like it, remember? And she didn't, but I was like, well, I do. And so I downloaded everything I could find, and I watched every documentary
She
I
would
could
talk to
find.
me about
I
it for
would even
hours.
check out books from our high school library, and my friend would always tell me, you're the only person I know that checks out books because they want to. I'm like, thanks, man.
Hey, I was guilty too.
Yeah.
But we didn't know,
I freaking, there's like,
Name a few of their songs. We should.
okay,
they
so
can-
one of my all-time favorite songs is A Day in the Life. Oh my god. And then Tomorrow Never Knows is one of my favorites, like, of all time. What's the fuck is
So much for being a hardcore fan. I was just kidding.
Well,
Just kidding.
I'll say one of my favorite
Joking.
albums is Revolver. Like I could listen to that album like Eleanor Rigby was gorgeous. Like I don't just like their poppy stuff in the beginning. Like I was obsessed with more of their later
It wasn't
experimental stuff.
mostly for her. It wasn't because of the mainstream that they were. Because automatically you think of the
Yeah.
Beatles, you think of hipsters, you think of shirts, you think of, oh well, it's cool to like the Beatles because that's what everybody likes. But she was actually like the hardcore fan that would read fucking autobiographies. She would buy all of this stuff and she would sit there and talk to me for hours about them, and I'd be like,
I bought
What?
the freaking the Anthropology series
remember.
or whatever it was called, like the big ass DVDs. I watched the entire thing.
she
and they
would, and
be
she
like,
would tell me,
turn it off already.
and she'd be like, can I show you an interview?
I was just obsessed with
I'm
them.
like, okay, but I get to
They
show you
are
one of my
amazing.
bands.
Yeah,
You show
that's
me
how
yours.
it worked out. So we're like, cool, it works out. So stupid. I'm sorry. It's called "Love You Too." That's like been one of my favorite songs that I would put on repeat. And "A Day in the Life," "Tomorrow Never Knows." Those are amazing. But they have like they would just like I felt at home with them because it wasn't like they were from, their 60s was their mania, and like nobody I knew liked them or anything, or at least my circle. I had a very small circle of friends, and like I
They
felt
wouldn't
at
listen to your kind of
home
music.
with them. Like, you had your poppy stuff, like, so you wouldn't get made fun of, and you could put that on when you were with people. But I had so many weird songs that nobody cared about.
We were in a way like
And-
closet people in school. Like
Yeah,
we really couldn't
kinda
show
had
people
to
who we
be.
were because then they'd be like, "Well, you're weird," or
Yeah.
"Why do you like that?" So
And my close friend that I had, she wouldn't criticize those things. She would just like fast forward them on the iPods. But when I
she
would
wouldn't
hear
support her in
them,
a way. That's
like I was just so at peace and so happy. I'm like, this speaks to my soul. They really like changed the game for me for music. So they okay, Roxy's.
all right. First band, of course, if you follow me, is Avenged Sevenfold. Avenged Sevenfold has changed my life since I was in high school because I've always been awkward. I've always felt like I don't fit in. I suffer with depression. I get really dark at times where I get suicidal, and sometimes I don't even necessarily have triggers. It just happens. And Avenged has always been there to kind of cheer me up, to kind of wake me up in a way to think I'm not alone. And it's just a surreal experience being able to see it live because, it's like these people you listen through your headphones the entire time, and you're like, these people are the people that saved my life. And Avenged has always been that one band that's like, you're not alone, you're not gonna fucking die, and you're here to have a good time, And one album that has helped me a lot with Avenged is Nightmare, and that was actually released after the Rev died, and you could just feel the pain of that album. And I feel like that album transitioned to me so well because I felt alone. I felt trapped. I felt like I wanted someone to save me. I wanted someone to understand what it's like to not be heard, to be misunderstood, or to lose people. And not necessarily, as bad as they were. They lost one of their best friends, but like sometimes you lose people in your life and you kind of want to feel like you belong. So Avenged Sevenfold has always been my number one band for that exact same reason. And she knows because I fangirl to her all the time. She's not really a metal person,
She
but I'm
got
like,
me into a couple songs, so
which is really cool. I'm like, all right, awesome. So they're one band that I will continue to support because, as cliche as it sounds, they saved my life, and I actually have 5 Avenged Sevenfold tattoos. So if you haven't heard of Avenged Sevenfold, which I'm sure you have, you should definitely check them out. And one album, obviously, that changed my life was Nightmare, but one of my other albums is their self-titled album. I really enjoyed Hail to the King, but the stage is really incredible. So if you want to check any of those out.
Videos, it was pretty cool. I feel like they were like our favorite bands ever, and they still very much are. But like those are the ones that we would show each other videos of. And like a thing that I liked about both, even though I don't follow Avenged Sevenfold, I'm sorry. It's not that I don't like them.
Even though
got
she
me into
likes
songs.
Sinister Gates.
Yeah, she's handsome.
I'm just kidding.
Best friend brother. What I liked about both was how sarcastic they are. Like, if you're sarcastic and funny,
They have
like,
such a great bond
I'll
with the
be your
band.
fan
They're like
forever.
brothers. And they're humble. They're not like,
Yeah.
oh, we're rich and
They
we don't
weren't
care about the
sarcastic
bands.
in a rude way or anything. They were like
They made you
sarcastic in a
feel
funny way.
like you could go up to them and you could have a long conversation
Yeah.
without being starstruck, like, oh my god, or them being like, oh, you're just a fan. No, like, how are you? You know, oh, that's awesome.
They had a
you
cool
know,
attitude. I think
which
they
was
were
really cool. So
interesting.
different, but at the same time, so alike for us.
And I feel like the Beatles in their time, for them to have been like that, you know, they were like so different because they weren't like all serious and they would make fun of their hair or something. It'd be like, yeah, I just cut it barely, you know, because it'd be like, when are you gonna get a haircut? And Ringo was like, I just cut it yesterday, you know. So like, they were really funny, and that was like one of the things that makes me click so much with the band is like sarcasm. Like, yes, please.
Because it makes you feel like they're normal people. Just
Yeah.
They are normal people, but you know, you want to
Yeah.
feel like you can relate to them
They're
on some
not like
level.
all dark and serious, like I'm a diva.
Or
I'm
that'd
so
be scary,
serious.
you know, like, that's scary. So, second for me has to be Breaking Benjamin. Breaking Benjamin has actually just released a new, well, it's not released, but they released a new single called Red Cold River, which Breaking Benjamin has always had a way with lyrics. They're very good at making you feel like you're just empowered. Like, I listen to them when I try to work out or I go for walks or writing. They're actually a huge reason to why I write.
That's cool.
And I'm so sad because they're on tour with Avenged Sevenfold right now. And I can't go because they're not coming anywhere near me. But they're one band that I actually have not seen in concert. I'm so sad about that.
Oh, new era. Hopefully it'll happen.
Right. New era, new album. And I think their first album that I listened to was Phobia, because I think you even heard this song. This song was everywhere when it came out, The Diary of Jane. I don't know if you heard of that one. Even Christy heard that one.
I
was in
probably
shock.
did, but I don't remember.
And obviously it was like one of the mainstream songs that went popular, you know, but that song actually drew me into seeing who the band was. And then from then forward, it just went from album to album, and I just remember being like, till this day actually, I'm just sitting there and it's like dark, and then it's just to light, you know. It's like that one band that keeps you motivated too, to just keep going, and their lyrics are just so fucking beautiful. So Breaking Benjamin, new song, Red Cold River, if you haven't heard it, new album coming soon. And all of their old stuff is amazing too, so if you have a chance to check any of that stuff, you should definitely listen to them. So, one more for me or you? You could go. Me? Alright. Trivium, man. Trivium, I actually...
heard a lot about them. She loves them.
I do love them. I've seen Trivium live twice. Trivium I actually discovered back in the... I think it was with In Waves. I don't mean to be cliche. I wish that I could be the cool Trivium fan and be like, oh man, I discovered your first album back in the day. No, I actually stumbled upon Trivium on the radio. We used to have a rocket station in Las Cruces. But of course, it got taken away for a fucking country station because we have like 10 of those. And I remember being like, oh shit, like, who's this? So I stumbled upon them, and from then it went to like In Waves, Built to Fall. Shogun was really good as well. And then I think the one that really stuck out to me was Strife. And then it went from Villainy Thrives, and then now the song that I'm obsessed with that I could listen to all the time without it being like annoyed is The Heart From Your Hate. Is just mind-blowing song. It just makes me think, fuck yeah, I can do this. And I actually met Trivium in 2016. Starstruck as fuck. I didn't know what to say. I actually had to ask to retake a photo because it came out blurry. But I just remember being so mind-blown. They have this presence to themselves that just makes all the fucking fans go crazy. Look, I was actually not up front to this concert. I was actually pushed to the back, but you should have seen the mosh pit. It was fucking insane. I was scared because I'm like, I don't want to die. But I love that the energy from the fans is just like feeding it to them, and they're like feeding it back to us. And just Trivium's like one of my, it's definitely on my top 5 list. Like, I think we did a little bit more than 5, but they're definitely like on my top 3. They're that good, and I hope that they continue touring and they come back to New Mexico.
Hopefully they will.
All right.
Okay. So this one,
because we don't know who they are. Just
nobody
kidding.
has heard of this band. They're very, very indie. Nobody has ever heard of them. It's the Gorilla. I remember loving them since
The video,
Demon
man.
days. Everybody, they exploded. They were big, you know, but
TRL,
they really
remember back
exploded.
when MTV showed music?
Yeah. They will show them a lot. I remember like even being so into them that I would go to their website and they had like an interactive thing where like it was in Plastic Beach era where you could like look around their like house, and I was like, this is so weird but I love it. Like Dare was one of my favorite songs ever. And I love everything and their latest album, they were nominated for Grammys. Like so freaking proud of them that even your bands don't have to be validated by Grammys, because most of ours on the list probably will never be, but that doesn't matter. But it's always cool when it does happen because they deserve it. They're the ones
It's like
that
recognition.
put in
It's
the
kind of
work.
cool to be
They
like
create
recognized.
everything
Because you have your
themselves.
generic. I'm not trying to hate on artists,
Yeah.
but you have the generic ones that get nominated every fucking
Yeah.
year.
It's cool
And
when the ones that
when you
deserve
have-
it, when they
when
get
that's different.
recognized, that's like the best thing ever. So I've loved them for a long time. My boyfriend also loves them, so they are always on repeat on a lot of car rides. We love them so much, and we always will. They're awesome.
Name a few of the songs.
There is a popular one that I have always loved. It's cliche, but Tomorrow Comes Today, like that's an older one, and that song is like, you zone out to that song. It's like his vocals on that one, and just like the lyrics and stuff, like that is one of my favorite of all time songs is Tomorrow Comes Today. Dirty Harry is really good. Like everything that they've ever put, like from the newest one of my favorites is Let Me Out, and I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's called Andromeda. It has like a really cool like synthy beat from them. It's like anything that they release is like
Mind blowing.
and how they have like that animated band, like Noodle.
It's
and
just
all that.
colorful. To me, it's always been colorful. Like
It was an original idea for sure. That's why they were so intriguing, because you saw these characters and like, oh, but it's only two
I
people.
remember being in fucking, I don't know if it was middle school or I think it was middle school.
Yeah.
The video would always come on and Feel Good,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even know, but I would sit there and be like, like when the video was playing, and I was just like, what is this?
And then
Like
Dare came out, and it was like another animator. Like, what is their deal? They were so intriguing.
it's kind of like when
it
Linkin
was
Park did
really good.
Breaking the Habit. Remember?
Yeah.
It was like animated or something.
Yeah.
That was different.
And they were like how they performed at award shows, and they were like holographic. And on tour, like they performed themselves with their cool big old stage, but like on some award shows, they would like holo project the characters, and that was really awesome. I would, like Noodle, she was really awesome, and 2D.
She can stay here for days. Just kidding.
Enough about them. They're the best though. I'm sure you guys know, and you guys probably love them too, and I hope you do, because they are the best ever. Okay, so the next is they've blown up after The Great Gatsby. I think gave them exposure to the US, but the XX is the next one. They are probably a lesser known band, but they've done really well. Like, I'm so proud of them. They've like been on SNL. They were on the
They're more
Great
indie
Gatsby
though, kind of.
soundtrack.
I think.
They're way more indie, but so hopefully
Not in
you
a
guys
bad
have
way
heard of
though.
them.
It's kind of different. Like
Yeah, I think I got into them because of my friend Arturo. He has really, really good taste in music. We had like the really weird indie vibe, and he would show me really awesome people. And we were gonna go see them, but it
she
didn't
bonded
work
with
out.
someone instead of being like, "Can you show me something that's not screaming?"
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And the XX, like I got my whole family into them. They fell in love with them too. Like they are just their voices together, and like the awesome beats. Like they are also singer-songwriters. They write all their stuff, and like
Recommend them some songs.
one of my favorites from the second album is Fiction. Like just the way that they sing together. The first one that I heard was Crystallized, which was like their first single. That was fucking amazing also. So listen to that one if you haven't. I love Nighttime. Has always been one of the ones that I put on repeat from the first album. Reunion from the second one. Like you will fall in love with all of them. And from the newest one, I really love Lips, On Hold, Say Something Loving. Like they just have a really, really eclectic. My list does not make sense. It's very from here to there, one
It's
extreme
okay,
to
though.
the other.
If you type them in, you'll see what she means. Or just check them out on Spotify.
They're really good. They're really good. I
Check them out
promise.
on Spotify.
If you like indie weird music, okay? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the next one on this list is In This Moment. She's actually gotten a lot more popular now. She's actually headlining tours now, so she's evolved quite a long time. Funny story. I actually discovered In This Moment by attending a Disturbed concert. She was the opening act. And I remember being in the audience and I'm like waiting, and then this really, really petite, tattooed, small blonde comes out. She looks like a fairy. And when she starts singing, she harmonizes and I'm like in shock because I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. And then she starts to scream and I'm like, what the fuck? How is that coming out of this tiny little body? But like ever since then, I became a fan. From A Star-Crossed Wasteland, and then it went from that to Blood, which was a really popular song. It was like everywhere on the rock radio, and it just shifted from that to well, I think the one that's out, well, she did release a new one. The latest one, the last one was Black Widow. Then the new one, fuck, I forgot what it's called.
That's cool. That's a female.
It is. It's really cool. Like, I have been going to metal concerts for a long time, and it was really rare to see a female lead kind of come out in the dominated male area. So when she came out and she just fucking screamed, I was like, oh my god, I love you. Like, who are you? So ever since then, I became a fan. And two of the songs that have helped me a lot is Roots, which is one of her current singles now, and The Fighter, honestly, from Black Widow is a really, 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 really touching song that just makes you want to cry. She's been through hell, man. Reading her background, she's been through a lot. So it's really relatable how she went from having nothing with the sun to now being this woman who's selling out like stadiums, and it's just amazing. That's like awesome. If you haven't heard of In This Moment, you should. Favorite album from In This Moment honestly has to be Blood. I like that she kind of mellows it out from screaming, but to just having like harmonizing singing, so she has like a mixture of both, which is really cool. Awesome. One more. Well, we already have Lights, so I'm not going to put on that count. But the next one is New Year's Day. How weird. New Year's Day is actually on tour with In This Moment right now. Not coming anywhere near me. Oh. So that's lovely. New Year's Day, I actually stumbled upon because she knows who she is. I call her the Harley Quinn of metal.
Oh, yeah.
Because she has like the half head, red and black. And I actually found her through, I think it was a song called Angel Eyes that she did with Chris Motionless, I suppose, from Motionless in White. And from then I'm like, who is this Harley Quinn metal looking singer? I need to find out who she is. And from then I kind of went from her EP, which had, I think, a song, Defame Me, and it just went from there that it blew up and I loved it. And I became a fan of Ash Costello from then. And she's such a sweetheart. She's those type of people that if she can, she will interact with each and every fan. Like, she's the type that will post an inspirational quote every single day. Like, she's the type that wants to help you, not the type that's like, I can't have time to respond to you. She's just so warm. I haven't seen her live, which is so disappointing, but she's mostly on Warped Tour, but she's evolved in such a big way. She even has a clothing line. She's such an animal lover. She's just an all-out, really amazing person. And her music has just always helped me through so much. And now I just think of Harley Quinn singing every time I see her. I'm like, that would be Harley Quinn if she had a band. She's beautiful. That's really cool. So, if you haven't checked out New Year's Day, you should. She is very talented. She's on tour with In This Moment. This is not a paid promotion, but if she's touring anywhere near you, that's an amazing show. You should check it out.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So the next one, they are not together anymore. Spoiler.
Sad.
I was very, very upset. Like, I found them right at the beginning. Also, like, Christina Perri, thank you, VH1, when you also did music. And
I remember the video, by the way.
Yeah. They played video. Barton Hollow too.
Yes, that's what it was called.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they're like so interesting. And like, I was never into, they're like folksy, weird, like country. Like, my list is very eclectic and weird. But they are like, I got my mom into them and my sister a little bit, and like my
They just harmonize. Like, when she showed them to me,
are
They
some
harmonize
of the
so well.
fucking best ever. And then like they blew up also, and they got recognized at the Grammys. I was so freaking proud because they deserved it more than anybody. Like they're freaking. I wish so much they didn't come anywhere near me, of course, but their voices even live, like they just needed a freaking guitar and 2 microphones. Like they were, their voices
And they just made
are
magic,
some of
basically.
my favorite ever. Like their cover of Billie Jean blew up, and they did a cover of a song called "Dance Me to the End of Love." It's the most gorgeous song you've ever heard. And they did a cover of Sour Times, and also they sound gorgeous.
So she was very disappointed when they broke up.
I was so
She was devastated.
so
I remember
upset.
she's all, they broke up. Why?
So freaking upset. And they were already about to break up, you know, and they still gave us one more album, and oh my god, guys.
But it was like a bittersweet for her because like she
It
didn't want to
was.
hear it, but then she's
Like,
like, this is the last thing they're gonna
Even
give
in
me.
the videos and the songs, like you could tell it was coming to an end, but it was like the most sad thing ever because they, oh my god, their voices, man. They blew up, and they got to be in the Hunger Games soundtrack. They had 2 songs on there, and then they went on to win a Grammy for that one, and Barton Hollow got recognized. Like they just have so many gorgeous songs, you guys. Like you guys, if you're into the weird, this one's kind of the weird one out of that field, you know, but they are amazing. Another song that blew up of theirs, I was on a couple of shows, was Poison and Wine. But like Barton Hollow was enough to get me in there because
That was the first video I ever saw.
their
They would
whole
show that video a lot.
album-
I
yeah,
remember
like that
now.
was their hit.
When
you
they
know.
had a countdown back in the day too,
Yeah.
huh? I remember that.
They were always on there, and I was so happy. But they are amazing. They deserve. Adele,
So even if they're not together,
Adele and Christina worship them. They went on tour with Adele, and I was like so happy. Obviously.
so just because
So-
they're not together doesn't mean you can't check them out because their
Yeah,
music is still amazing.
I still listen to them all the time. I love them. And
She's
go
like-
back
she
and watch
cries.
their
She's
old
like,
videos
"What?"
and just, yeah, it's so sad. Okay, so the
next
next one,
one,
you
nobody
guys
knows
have
them.
never
Nobody
heard
knows
of them.
them.
They are not popular by any means. So it's 21 Pilots. I got my boyfriend into them, and I was so happy because he's like, they have the very, very sarcastic humor that the Beatles had and Avenged Sevenfold have. Like they are so awesome, and they are like such a very empowering duo, like because they very much are so invested in like the well-being of their fans. Like they're constant, well,
they blew up.
they're on
dude,
hiatus
like,
right now, but they thanks to Suicide Squad, but even before then they blew up with Blurry Face.
I think that's the one that made them pretty famous.
people
too, that I heard.
people
of
knew them before, you know, but like
Suicide Squad was like a big help.
Squad, they catapulted a little bit more because of Heathens, but Blurry Face was what really made them blow up with Stressed Out and all that. But one of my favorite songs of theirs that I can listen to over and over again is Goner. Like his freaking, the lyrics are like very simple, and the melody at the beginning is very simple, and then it like blows up. It's just, listen to that song, it's gorgeous. And then I love Migraine, Addict with the Pen, like the earlier stuff. Like I like
She gets so
the
excited
hits.
talking about it.
Obviously, Lane Boy is awesome.
But
and
they're a hit for a
Heathens
reason, right?
was awesome. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
They are probably hyped up, and you know people are probably tired of Stressed Out. Like I was so excited when my mom was like, "Oh, I like that song." I'm like, no wonder. I love you, Mom. But they are a hype band, and I like that they were like, "Oh, who cares if people found us?" You know, with Stressed Out. Like he was very proud of that song. So they're not the type that like.
It's
shame
like
their
that one
fans.
artist or that one band that get mad because they only know that one
Yeah,
song.
and
Yeah,
that
I've seen a lot of those.
Tyler's like, no, like I am very much like, thank you for coming. You know, he's like, I love that song. I'm proud of that song. Like they don't stop caring about it just because it blew up. Like it still means something to them, you know. And we would watch their interviews. Like I would find a couple more interviews, and be like, oh, I found more funny interviews, but you know.
It's a one YouTube
And-
video. Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Click, click, click.
And they, oh my god, they did a live session with Mute Math. I hope I said that
Wasn't
right.
he from the Twilight soundtrack?
Yeah, they were from the Twilight.
I'm so ashamed that I know that. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Say what you will about Twilight.
The
But
soundtracks were
the
amazing.
soundtracks are some. If I could put those as an artist on this list, I would have.
They're
like,
beautiful songs.
New Moon is fucking fucking amazing. Hearing Damage, like, go listen to that song.
She's scolding you now.
From York.
Her mother.
Not that
came
you
out.
guys probably hate on what we're saying, but we feel strongly about it. Okay. Okay. But please listen to them if you haven't. Like, not just the hits. Like, dig in. Like, I have
To their other stuff that are not like hits.
Like, and yes, those songs are amazing. Even then, I love Lane Boy, even though I blew up and stressed out, you know. But they have so many other. Oh, like from Blurry Face, I really, really love Goner and Hometown, Polarize. Listen to those, please. Message Man. Those songs are gorgeous. Okay.
Okay, the next one on my list is Hailstorm. Hailstorm, I think Lizzie Hale is this generation's Joan Jett because she's just so fucking fierce. I actually saw Hailstorm. Damn, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they opened up for someone, but they had been on tour with Avenged Sevenfold before, and Lizzie is just one of those singers that has this fucking amazing voice that she can hold a note for so long.
Yeah.
And her music is just, it has a meaning, but it's also, she knows how to make everything very sexy. And at the same time, she's made a name for herself. Like, when you think of females in metal today, you automatically think of Lizzie Hale. And the first song that I think I ever heard of Lizzie, well, Hailstorm, was I Get Off, and that was a huge hit for them. It was like always on the rock radio, and that's when I heard that song, and then it went from there to finding their album, and it went from like Familiar Taste of Poison, and then they came out with I think it was Miss Hyde, which was another song that I completely fucking loved. Love Bites actually won them a Grammy, which I was so shocked when, not in a bad way, but like when Hailstorm, even they were shocked that they were nominated for a Grammy. Like we said, we're not people that listen to artists because of Grammys, but it was so rare, in my opinion, to have them, because Hailstorm had already been pretty big, but you know, they weren't like at that fucking, like where you think of like Metallica or like those main Megadeth, you know. So when I found that out, and then I found out they won, I was like, holy shit, that's so incredible. Like, she's a fucking female, and no, I'm not doing the whole feminist thing. I hate that I have to defend everything I say nowadays, but it was just amazing because she's a female-fronted singer who's in this band with her brother. She's been at it forever, and she's friends with these boys, and she just brings this presence. And I think the one song from the latest album was I Am Fire. She even did a cover to Heathens. Hailstorm did, and Get Lucky.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I thought that was really cool. And just her music in general helps me. She's so fierce. I like how she doesn't give a fuck. And she's very interactive with her fans. She's actually responded to me a lot of the times on Twitter, which is really sweet. And she kind of reminds me of a metal version of Pink, too, because she's so spunky. That she even said one time, she answered in one of my tweets that she would love to do a Pink cover. So till this day, I'm waiting for that. So if you haven't heard of Hailstorm, check it out. Basically, all of their songs are amazing. I love them. I remember she would hear I Miss the Misery. And she thought, is it really saying what I think it's saying? I was like, it is. She's very sexual like that. In a good way, though. I think she brings out this sexy, so it's pretty amazing. Okay. Butcher Babies. The name's not brutal enough, right? I actually discovered Butcher Babies at Mayhem Fest 2013. The main event was Rob Zombie. Butcher Babies was on the side stage, which was one of the smaller stages, and I remember my guy friends were like, hey dude, these two hot chicks are gonna go sing, let's go see it. And I'm like, oh my god, guys. So then I go see it too, and this little petite brunette comes out and this blonde comes out, and they start to like rowdy up the audience, and just like from Maria Brink from In This Moment when they fucking yell, I was like, oh my god, like how is that coming out of their little bodies? So I was infatuated with them from the get-go. And, I was in the way back, so I was trying to avoid the mosh pit again. I was like, I don't want to die. I'm going to stay over here. And I remember that they had a merch booth. And Carla Harvey, the brunette, actually wrote a comic book based off the Butcher Babies. And she actually illustrated it herself. So when I saw the comic book in the merch booth, I was like, no way. I was like, they have their own comic book. It's like metal and comics. It's like How do you say his name? Greg Capullo?
Capullo.
I
don't know.
Yeah, I'm always scared that I say it wrong.
Yeah.
It's like him, which is so cool that he's done art for like Five Finger Death Punch and Disturbed.
That's cool.
So I was like, holy shit! It's like she's the same way, and it's more inspiring to us because we're women, you know, like.
Yeah.
So to have that, and I remember buying the merch and waiting in line and meeting them, and since I met them, I fell in love with their music, and it's a little hard to understand because they scream a lot, and you're like, why are they so angry? But if you listen to the lyrics, because they in the CDs, you know how a lot of the times they have the lyrics, you start to really pay attention, and at the time, I was, like I'm telling you, my depression has swings. And I think one song from their album was... Well, I think the album was... I think it was The Massacre. That song helped. I Smell a Mass... I don't even know what the fuck the song's called now. I'm horrible.
She's spacing like I did.
I know. I think Dead Poet was one that helped too. And just from then on, it went from that album to Take It Like a Man, and then they released Lith, or how would you say that? Litih. Lilith? Lith?
Yeah.
Right? I think so. Went from that album, and it just exploded from that. And it was just an amazing record. Like, I know that a lot of people, I've tried to get them into them, and they're like, that's too hardcore for me. That's way too hardcore. And I'm like, it's because I know what they're saying. Like, I know, I can understand what they're saying. So from then on, they helped a lot. They actually inspired a lot of dark, angry poetry as well. So I actually wrote them a letter when I met them. I regret that now. Horrible poem. Should have never given that poem.
I'm sure they
Okay, you're next.
Okay. Also an artist you've never heard of. She has not blown up ever. It's Adele.
Talking.
What?
I'm gonna get my phone. Keep talking.
I'm like, don't do this. Just kidding. I'm pretty sure everybody, probably not guys, but if you are a
I'm
guy
sure
and you
some
like
guys.
her,
Did you know that Chester
awesome.
Bennington did a cover to Rolling in the Deep?
Really?
So sad.
If you like her and you're a guy, that is so cool. But Adele is one of the ones that has always been. I like that she doesn't consider herself a celebrity, and her interviews have
She's
always
hilarious.
been hilarious.
She is such a down to earth
Always.
person.
They were always super funny. That's like the thing that brings you in about her. Like, also singer-songwriter. She writes all her own stuff, and she has won so many Grammys, and thank God she deserves
actually
everyone
recognized.
that she's won. That she's won, she's deserved. And she was kind of like 21 Pilots. They blew up more with the later albums. And rightfully so. I remember that when that whole thing exploded. Also on VH1, you know, I would always see Chasing Pavements from 19.
Like her older
which
stuff.
was the first one that put her on the
I
map.
like how she labels her age.
I know.
She's
that
like,
is
catch
so
up with
awesome.
me.
And then she's like, oh, that's not creative, but it's different. So, you know, it is cool. And
As cliche as it is, Someone
everybody
Like You
loves
was
her.
such an amazing song, man.
it was.
I know
And
it was everywhere, but
Rolling with the Deep, that was my jam.
I remember the
for
video.
The longest
It would
time.
make me like want to sit on a chair and tap
Yeah.
my foot when I would watch
She's
that video.
amazing. From the latest one, like, I know everybody loved Hello, and I heard it a million times also, but
All the
my
memes and
favorite,
shit.
oh yeah, those are hilarious. I really, like, my favorite song probably off of 25 is I Miss You. That song is gorgeous. Like, the emotion and the lyrics are just gorgeous.
Her voice, like, you just can transport it into a novel. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even heartbroken, but she makes you heartbroken.
Yeah,
Like, you're
you
like...
feel what she's singing because it's real, and her voice is amazing. Like, you guys probably know all the good songs of Adele. Like, I loved all of 21. You know, it's just, she's amazing forever and always. And the next is One in Common. It's Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Babe.
um,
She, too, she's really famous, but at the same time, she's like indie. We've had this
Yeah.
discussion where she's really famous, but at the same time, she's really different. Like,
yeah, like, she blew up, but she kind of still is, like, kind of to her fans, you know, the hardcore ones. Like, she blows up a little bit, and She's just one that has always been so different that she's just very intriguing.
Her lyrics are really dark too.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to them, like the beat could trick you,
Mhm.
but if you go back and you read it, you're like, whoa.
Like Born to Die, it has, you know,
that's
like
such a sad
beat,
song.
and like even the video is dark and stuff. Like she's
oh, I
always
died.
had that contrast, and it's Blue Jeans was one of my favorites.
That was such a
forever.
sexy song. That was like
Gorgeous
so
video.
seductive. Like you just envision the love she has for this
Yeah.
guy. Like I don't know. I feel like I love how she's so sexy, but she's so classy.
She also was on the Great Gatsby soundtrack with the XX.
Young and
They were
beautiful.
gorgeous. Both of the songs were amazing from both of them, so that made me more excited about the movie. Was that my favorites were on the soundtrack?
Ultraviolence was a
That
very
was
sad
fun.
album too.
Yeah.
I really
She
like
has
that song.
she has really dark music most
Yeah,
of the time.
that's
but,
why like
it's
it's
awesome.
I made a joke. Like I think it was a joke to someone. I'm like, dude, every time I listen to Lana Del Rey, I want to wear flowers in my hair and smoke. I won't smoke though, but like pretend to smoke. She just, not that I'm supporting like smoking, but you know how she has like that sexy.
I love that. She has
vibe.
that vintage vibe.
Yes,
she's
exactly.
always put, like with video games.
She's like a
it's always,
doll. Like
oh my god, and I love National Anthem with her and ASAP Rocky. They looked amazing together. I wish that would have been real, but we have the video. Like, she's amazing. You guys have heard of her, I'm sure. She blew up, but we still love her even now. All of the songs are amazing. West Coast was awesome. That video was like so chill, you know, and the beat was like very simple.
I like Million Dollar Man. For some reason, that makes me think of Bruce Wayne. I don't know why. Maybe
Money.
'cause- right?
Okay, your turn.
Okay. Well, she likes it. Doesn't listen to them as much, but
Yeah.
she likes them. Slipknot. Slipknot was see, she's so hardcore. Slipknot has always been that one band that terrifies the shit out of your mom or your grandma. Because they're like, why are you listening to Satan music? What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you worship the devil? And deep down, Slipknot has some of the deepest fucking lyrics I have ever heard. Like, Corey Taylor, man, he is really talented. Not only, like, does he sing in Slipknot, but he also has Stone Sour, which is weird because I actually saw Stone Sour live before I saw Slipknot. So, to see Corey Taylor in this guitar with this glowing light singing Romance and then shifting from fucking putting this mask on and drooling on stage, staring at you like people from The Strangers. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? But, like, their lyrics are so deep, makes you just want to go crazy, but at the same
In a
time,
good
it's
way.
you understand the pain in them. Like, they actually lost a band member as well. And I remember, I think I saw an episode, I forgot where it was on, but he was getting tattooed for the band member that passed away, and that's the first time I ever saw like Corey Taylor cry. So when you like go back and you listen to these songs, or could you imagine forming this band with one of your best friends? It's kind of like Avenged with the Rev, and then them passing on, you know. But in a way, you will always have the gift of being able to listen to them again or seeing the stuff you created with that person. But honestly, Slipknot has always helped me through some really deep shit. Working out has been really cool listening to them, but at the same time, every time I write, like I said, I like to write a lot, and I think, fuck, what album was it? I know it was The Devil and I, one of the singles off that album.
I listen to Psychosocial.
The mainstream one. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. The one everybody knows.
Yeah.
Just kidding. And I would just sit there and I would hear him, or sometimes, okay, this is going to be really creepy, and I've never exposed this of myself, but there would be times where I would lie in bed and it would be really dark in my room and I would be listening to them. And I actually just admitted that to her, that I would pretend like I'm dead. That sounds so morbid, but they take you away from your natural, like, in the moment. Not that they made me, like, suicidal or anything. They
Yeah.
actually helped me. But I would feel at peace because it's like I would shut myself off. And I would listen to the lyrics and I would just drift off. And I think If Rain Is What You Want is one of the songs that really just made me shut everything off and envision something that I don't even know what the fuck I was envisioning. I'm always in the woods for some reason. I don't know why. But I'm always just trying to...
picture myself like in like galaxy lost space. That's funny.
Like very
we
space.
always like
yeah, see,
I
she
see
envisions
myself
her
in-
there, and I'm always
yeah.
in the woods, and the woods is scary, you know. So like I don't know.
We
I
all
always
zone
envision
out to
myself there.
different
Yeah,
places.
it's
That's cool.
weird. So, Slipknot. I'm sure if you haven't heard of them, of course you haven't. Just kidding. You should check them out.
Never heard
Really
of any of these
amazing.
artists.
Next, we're almost done, you guys. We're almost done. I think we have like one more.
2 more after that.
Okay. Well, we share Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Man, I'm still not over Chester Bennington, you guys. Linkin Park was that one band that always made you okay when you're an outcast. Like,
Yeah.
no matter who the hell you were, you knew who the fuck Linkin Park
Mhm.
was. Whether you hated them, whether you didn't listen to them, you always had either crawling in the end or breaking the habit.
In the end was amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
and you couldn't go anywhere without knowing who Linkin Park was. So when Chester Bennington died, you guys, I actually literally cried.
That like felt like our childhood died
It's like a-
because all of us 90s babies like for sure grew up with him, and they helped so many people and so many artists. Like thanks to them, so many artists
were
are
alive,
even here,
like,
you know. And
they
they helped us
helped.
through high school and even before.
When you were that
Like,
awkward
they
kid
are-
that didn't fit in, Linkin Park was there to make you feel like you did fit in.
They were a big deal.
And
it's
just, even if you hadn't listened to them in a while, you know, you kind of weren't a fan of their new stuff or you hadn't kept up with them, they're still a part of your life. Like,
yeah, very
everywhere,
much
it was
so.
heartbreaking to see all of the people's mourning for him. Like,
Yeah.
they were in shock. Like, till this day, I tell her that I don't accept the fact that he's gone.
That's like when we lost Prince all over again. Like those were really.
You're like, no, he's not
really
dead.
bad.
No. And that's how I was. Like, seeing him and Chris Cornell, man, fucking devastating. I don't want to keep too much into that because it just makes us sad. Last one for her and then last one for me.
Okay. So, if you're into EDM, you've probably heard of this guy. His name is Deadmau5. And he's from a fellow Canadian like Lights. He is one of the first ones that got me into like actual EDM. I remember my brother would always tell me to download songs for him of him, and he was like obsessed with him. I was like, oh, fine. So I downloaded Right This Second, and like he had a few on a lot of the albums that do have vocals, but a lot of them are just the beat, you know. And Right This Second, it's just the beat. And
Just the beats are cool though because you can zone out to whatever the hell you want.
yes, like Deadmau5 was that artist for me that would like totally help you know, that helps you leave your body and you see yourself in this other space, and it was like, whoa, like your mind can really go places. And like he was that for me at first. And like Right This Second was the first song I heard, instead of For Most People it was probably fuck.
We always space out. How odd is that?
His most popular one, something about a ghost. Well, you guys know it if you know Deadmau5. And like he has always been one of my favorites. Like I love Dioro, I love Cascade, TJR. There are also really good other EDM people if you're into that, but he was always one of my favorites. And Right This Second is probably my favorite song. And our guru, he was kind of he was cool because he was like Lights, like they are nerds also, not just an artist, so you kind of bond with them about that. He's more like a video game nerd. He's obsessed with Cthulhu, and like kind of horror stuff, but he likes mostly video games. And he had like a whole piece of like Super Mario themed stuff, and like the creator, he got his signature because he performed like at a video game award. I remember he was
She
like
didn't stalk him at
so
all, right?
excited. No, he would always do live streams like
She
before
did her
Twitch and
homework.
all that, and we would watch him all the time. And he's always been one of my favorites for sure. EDM, if you're into that scene.
All right, we've reached the last of our list, and of course, mine has to go to Korn. Everybody's heard of Korn,
Yeah.
whether you listen to them or not. And the basic generic answer is like, yeah, Freak on the Leash. It's like, yeah, I remember that video when I was little. It was like a bullet just flying everywhere.
Oh, what's the other famous one?
Falling Away from Me.
No, isn't it Coming Undone?
Coming Undone is a really popular one
That's
too.
One that I heard a lot
And-
when I was little.
Well, back then I would see the videos, but of course I was too young to kind of understand the lyrics. So when I picked up Korn again as an adult, I was like, holy shit, they know how I feel. Alone I Break was one of the songs too that I would literally sit in my room and cry to. I actually liked the Serenity of Suffering. They had a lot of amazing songs, and I've actually gone to see Korn live 3 times. And each time I caught a guitar pick. I don't know. Don't ask me how the fuck that happened because I don't know. But I was really amazed. They know how to bump up the crowd, but they've always been good with making all the fans that I know of Korn say that the reason why they love Korn so much is because it's like they finally found someone that understands them. It's like he talks about these demons that you have inside your head that you are on a daily basis, yet at the same time that demon is basically yourself. Because all of these things you imagine, just like me, like you could say, well, are you suddenly suicidal, or why do you suddenly want to hurt yourself when you just had the best day of your life? It's like, well, try telling that to the fucking demon in my head, you know? And when you see the music videos of Korn, even then they have such a message behind them. But Falling Away From Me was one song. I know it's like one of the most generic, cliche, popular songs to like of Korn, but I think that's the reason why it was so popular.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of people could reach out to it.
It's okay to like those.
And just all of their music, honestly, I can't pick a list of my favorite songs because they're all so fucking amazing, but I'm just so blessed that Jonathan Davis is amazing. So I've just been really blessed that I've been able to see them. And I'm sure you've heard of them, but go back and listen to the lyrics again. I guarantee you'll be like, whoa.
They're favorites for a reason. All of them.
Exactly. I just like how mine is all fucking metal and hers is all different. Like, the only one that I was like Lana Del Rey and like fucking Lights. I cuss a